Bouyage. This is a key subject. I guarantee you it will be asked. This exam is very similar to your driving test. Everyone has a driving license, I would have thought, doing this course. When you did your driving test, you had majors and you had minors. If you had a X, something major, like you didn't do the emergency stop, that was an instant fail. You could have, it would seem, 11 minors. I think it's actually 13 you're allowed, with some of us, on our third attempt, got 11 minors. No majors, so you can have numerous mistakes. Yeah? This exam is not about making sure you're right for everything, it's about making sure that you're right for the important bits. Your job as an OOW is to be the master's representative, and as such, you're in charge of navigation, watchkeeping, GMDSS. Okay, those are your primary duties. To be able to navigate the vessel, you need to be able to understand Bouyage. You need to know this fully. You will be asked. Every single exam centre is going to ask you about rules, they're going to ask you about lights, they're going to ask you about charts, they're going to ask you about passage planning, they're going to ask you about radar plotting, and they are going to ask you about Bouyage. There isn't a huge amount I can do to teach it to you. It's one of those things where you just need to spend time practicing with it. I'm fairly sure that you've all got or seen the flip cards. Yeah, what I want you to do is I want you to cover up the top. Yeah, you see how the tops of my flip cards here, my flashcards here have been covered? Because in the exam, he is going to have beautiful models. Yeah, the model is going to look very similar to that. Maybe slightly smaller, mine's slightly larger. And I'd like to say thank you very much to Mia for making these beautiful models for me. It is very much appreciated. Thank you. You need to know these marks with or without the top marks. What he's going to do is he's going to put down a north cardinal like that. He is going to have you on a boat and he's going to say, you see that dead ahead, what are you going to do? Or you're coming from this angle here, what are you going to do? Your first question has to be, which way is north, sir? He will have something like that. So if that is north, and I see that dead ahead, yeah, is that the right angle for you there? If that's north there, I see that dead ahead, I'm going to alter course to port and pass it down my port side. Yeah? It indicates that it is north of the danger. Yeah? So that's north, that's the south cardinal. And that is the east cardinal. And that is the west cardinal. These cardinals indicate, so the other one he has done in the past is he gets a rag or a pen or something and he says, arrange these around this object. You must ask him, which way is north, sir? If you do not know which way north is, you will get it wrong. So please, please learn these without the top marks. Naughty, elephant, squirt, water. They indicate the outer edge of the danger. Let's do the other question he might ask. So we'll say that you are heading 090 and you see this mark dead ahead. What are you going to do? I am going to stop. Take all way off. I am going to inform the master. I'm going to check my position. I'm going to switch on the echo sounder. I am somewhere over the danger. Yeah, this is a east cardinal. I am heading east and I see it dead ahead. It means the only thing I know is that safe water is dead astern. So I'm going to stop, take all way off, stop, switch on the echo sounder, inform the master. I'm going to check my position. I'm going to do a chart assessment. The only thing I know is that safe water is dead astern. I am not going to turn. Yeah, clear. He could ask you, what are you going to do with a south cardinal? You're heading 090 and you see a south cardinal. I would alter course to starboard and I would pass it down my port side, sir. Make sure that you can do it with these marks. Make sure that you could put the marks in the appropriate place. Yeah. I want you to practice with flashcards. I want you to practice these. I need you to know the light characteristics. So if he says to you, let's have a north cardinal. If he says to you, here is a north cardinal, tell me about the light characteristics. I need you to know that it is quick or very quick, continuous flashing. If he then said to you, I know there's a south cardinal, what are the light characteristics? I need you to say to him it is very quick, 6 plus 1 long flash every 10 seconds. Or quick plus 1 long flash every 15 seconds. White light, sir. He'll then say, and. What else can you tell me about this south cardinal? So you're going to tell him it's placed to the south of the danger. You're going to tell him it is... the black is on the base of it. The cones point down. What else can you tell me about a cardinal mark? Now, when I ask this during the week, I find that people really do struggle on this question. So, where would you look up information on lateral marks, cardinal marks, or any form of marks? Move that out of the way. Well, inside the Mariner's Handbook, the 2015 edition, the most recent edition, stop. Fred, the most recent edition, 2015, but there's a new edition now. And this new edition is the 2016. Yeah? Has anything changed? Well, a few things have changed. There's some new rules. There's a whole new section. And what else they've done is they've actually removed Annex C. They don't have. There's Part F, the verification and compliance provisions of this convention. I'm not worrying about it. You're not going to worry about it. You should be aware that there are new rules. Part F. Okay? You're going to go and Google that now, aren't you? But what they have done is that they've removed Bouyage. So in a few minutes in the video, I'm going to talk about how you'd look up Bouyage inside MP 100. I'm actually going to say to you in a few minutes that this book NP 735 is no more. It would appear that I was wrong. They took it, well, they included this book, they included it inside MP 100 2015 edition and then they removed it from the 2016 edition. It appears that there's a lot of movement going on at the moment, so I am making edits, I am making updates to these videos as things happen. You can be fairly confident that between the notes in these videos that everything is up to date, or at least things that matter to you and I. So I think in an oral exam I'm going to continue to say that inside the Mariner's Handbook there is information on Bouyage, but if we were being 100% accurate, we could say, actually sir, I noticed that the 2016 refers you now to NP735. Don't worry about the number. The book for Bouyage. Yeah, and it is exactly the same information. There is nothing different from the video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allow myself in the video to carry on, but I just wanted to update myself, allow you to know there is a difference. And you'll find that there are a few other updates as we go through. Do look out for them. Carry on, Fred, as you were. Has actually replaced NP273, the Ayala Bouyage system. Okay, and if we go through it, we will come up to the cardinal system. Inside the notes, there's a replication of that diagram, and I want you to be made aware of the retroreflective tape. So yellow retroreflective tape represents yellow. Blue retroreflective tape represents black. And all of the marks have retroreflective tape. Yeah. So let's move on to an isolated danger mark. Okay. Let's move these out of the way. Is everybody happy with North Cardinal, South Cardinal, East Cardinal, and West Cardinal? He will ask you about it. Hello, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you want to have access to the notes and to my other 35 hours of video that will make you pass, then you need to download it from the Apple Store. To do this, you get an iOS device and you go to the App Store. You type into the search button, Fred's Oral Prep Videos. You click on it, press the Get button, and it will download my app. From there, you can subscribe to pass your exam. Good luck. Isolated danger mark. Dennis the Menace. Flashes white. Group flash 2. Yeah. 1, 2, and then it starts again. So it's a white flashing light. It has 2 black balls at the top, and you would pass it either side. There is no particular side. So if I was coming up on it and I was on a boat, I was coming along, I would do a chart assessment and I would decide which side had the most safe water, and I would go either to port or to starboard of the mark. Yeah, happy? Let's do the next mark. This is a safe water mark. Okay, so what are the light characteristics of a safe water mark? Well, they flash white. They can flash isophase, which means it is equal light and dark. They can flash occulting, which means there is more light than dark, or it can flash one long flash every 10 seconds, or it can flash Morse A, dit, da. Okay, it's an important mark, isn't it? So which side would you pass of it? Would you go to take it down your port side, or would you take it down your starboard side? There is a right and a wrong answer to this question. So what have you said? What have you gone with? Have you gone taking it down your port side or taking it down your starboard side? And if so, why have you chosen the way you're going? Me, I'm going to take it down my port side. Why? Why will I always take it down my port side? Well, Rule 9 states that we drive on the right-hand side of a channel. We stay to the most starboard side of the channel. A safe watermark is generally placed as a fairway mark. So I'd expect to see it at the beginning of a channel. So if I leave it to my port side, I'll be driving on the right. If I'm coming out of the channel, then I would still leave it on my port hand side. Hence, for a safe watermark, I would always leave it to port. An isolated danger mark, I would check the chart. So, next question. You see that ahead. What side are you going to pass that on? Are you going to take it down your starboard side or down your port side? I want an answer. I actually want you to say out loud, "Ah, Fred, I would take that down my starboard side," or "Fred, I would take that down my port side." Okay, you got an answer? You're wrong. How do I know categorically that you are wrong? How's that possible? Well, did you ask me what side or what is the direction of Bouyage? So, that now is a can. Yeah, the shape is a can. Therefore, I would leave it on the port side. If you had said that, then I would have it going against you, in which case you would have to leave it on your starboard side. Do you see where I'm coming from? If you do not ask for a cardinal mark, which side would you leave it on? If you don't ask which way is north, you will be in trouble because you'll be wrong. If you're going either left or right of a channel marker or a safe water mark or any of these things, well, safe water mark's the only one, but anything else, you need to know the direction of Bouyage. He may say you're going inbound or you're going outbound. You need to know the direction of Bouyage. Without these two, without asking for them, you are going to be having a terrible exam. So, let's go to these safe watermarks. We're going to assume that we are going with the direction of Bouyage. Have you all seen these before? Pretty sure you've all been to Antibes and Joan Le Pen. You have seen them. It's how you get into Joan Le Pen. Yeah, it's the special channel marker to get to the dock to drop off and pick up. So if I saw that one, it is a special mark, port hand. I would leave it on my port hand side if I'm going with the direction of Bouyage. Looking at the shape of that, that is a cone. Therefore, I would leave it on my starboard side if I'm going with the direction of Bouyage. we now come on to lateral marks. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Is everyone else happy with the rest of the special marks? These don't have any particular meaning. I would have to check the chart for these. He won't bring those out. He is going to bring out that one and ask you what you're going to do. You need to know if you're going inbound or outbound. If you're going inbound, I would leave it on my port side. Special marks, yeah, they indicate the outfall or Villeneuve-Loubet where you can't go and anchor inside. There is no real special features of these. If he asked you what light they would be flashing yellow. Anything that cannot be confused with a white light in the area, sir. So now let's go on to lateral marks. I know that you know the difference between ILA A and ILA B. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these down. And these are not being organised in any way. Get these a bit closer together, I think. Do you see a similarity here? I do not look at the colour. Yeah. I do not worry about the colour. When I did my OOW, if he had put that in front of me, I would have been in trouble. Or he did put that in front of me. It was 50-50 if I haven't been honest. Yeah, especially if he put that one in front of me. Because I learnt it, as we all do, as labels. Yeah, and I knew that that's a preferred channel marker. What does it say on the back? Preferred channel marker to starboard. However, if I'd been going against the direction of Bouyage, I personally would have struggled. I think my Master 3000, if I was being perfectly honest, it would have been 50-50. Yeah, I really struggled with my Bouyage. However, I now see it very, very differently. I now see it as everything that is a can. I think of a McEwen's export can. That's a Scottish thing. I'm sorry, it won't make much sense to anyone. But sailors get canned coming into port. So I leave cans on the port hand side when I'm coming into port. I don't care what colour it is. Yeah, to be perfectly honest. This is a port hand lateral mark. 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 This is a port hand lateral. Do you see where I'm going from? It makes no odds what colour, where I am in the world. Cans are on the port hand side. Full stop. On the starboard side, they are cones. An ice cream cone, yeah? I'm having an ice cream cone. They are on the starboard side when I'm going into port. If I'm going against the direction of Bouyage, then everything is backwards. I can do that. I can understand that. I can get that far. It's these annoying preferred channel markers that, to be honest, get me. And it wasn't until I was in Antigua and we were going into Antigua and we were going alongside, not the Cat Club, but the other side. And that preferred channel marker at the entrance, it's lost its paint. What with it being a steel thing in salt water. And all you really have left is the shape. If I lost that bit of green there, that is still a port hand lateral mark. So if I was asked, if he said to me, let's get rid of all of these now. Let's get rid of all of those, all of those, all of those, all of those. And he had that there. What are you going to do with that? If I'm going with the direction of Bouyage, that is a port hand lateral mark, indicating a preferred channel. I am going to leave it on my port side, going with the direction of traffic. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not labeling it any longer. I am telling you what I'm going to do. I am not going to make a mistake with what I'm going to do. It is a can. Therefore, I'm going to leave it on the port side when I'm going into port. If I'm going against the direction of Bouyage, i.e. I'm leaving port, then I'm going to leave it on the starboard side. And I get that. I can understand that. I seem to be okay with that. But is it when I say that that's a preferred channel to starboard, well, it's not when I'm going against the direction of traffic, is it? But it is a port hand lateral mark. Therefore, I'm going to leave it on the starboard side when I'm going against the direction of Bouyage. That makes sense to me. That is the biggest thing. So that is a port hand lateral mark indicating a preferred channel. This is a starboard hand lateral mark indicating a preferred channel. I would leave it to starboard if I'm in the main channel. As I said, you're watching an iPad, you can now rewind back and re-watch this bit. So, how could he examine you with this? Okay, one of the standard things to do is to, let's have a standard exam style question. Okay, so these are marks here. Let's put one more in. Let's put Dennis the Menace. Now, we're on board this boat here, and he lays these out in front of us like this, and he could ask you, what are you going to do? And as I said to you earlier on, you're going to need to work out the direction of Bouyage. You could say to him, what is the direction of Bouyage, sir? He might be, quite rightly, very unhelpful. He could say to you, I'm not going to tell you. Well, do you think the safe watermark indicating the fairway channel is going to be at the inboard end or the outboard end? It's going to be at the entrance to the channel. It's going to be at the seaward end, isn't it? So you can deduce, and this does happen, they do expect you to be a little bit savvy. You can deduce that that is the direction of traffic or Bouyage. We are going inbound. Yeah. So here is happiness. Here is cold and wet. So in this case then, sir, this is a safe watermark. It flashes occulting, or it flashes white, occulting, isophase, one long flash every 10 seconds, or Morse A. Morse A is dit da, sir, flashes white. I would leave it on my port side. This is a port hand lateral mark. It will flash with a red light, anything other than 2 plus 1. This is a starboard hand special marker. I'm going to leave it on my starboard side. It will flash yellow. Anything other than white, or anything other than a light that could be confused with a white light in the area. This is a a lateral mark indicating a preferred channel. I'm going to leave it on the port hand side. It's going to flash red. 2 plus 1, sir. Ah, here is a north cardinal. I would have to ask him which way is north. He will then say that north, is in the direction of, you can't see it, but there's a computer screen here, and it is there. So therefore, there is north, so that is north, that is east, that is south, and that is west. Therefore, that is a north cardinal. It is indicating that it is at the northern edge of the danger. Therefore, I would leave it on my port side. It is going to flash, continuous flashing, either very quick or quick. This is Dennis the Menace. It's an isolated danger mark. And it's going to flash group flash 2, white. I would consult the chart and I could leave it either side. Do you understand? I want you to practice with these. I want you to get a set of these and I want you to cut the bases off. Now I know that that is Isla region A is the right way around for me. I know that, let's find a red one, there's one that's backwards. I know that that is Isla region B. So what is the difference between Isla region A and Isla region B? I know you've done the quizzes. The cardinal marks are identical. The safe water mark is identical. The isolated danger mark is identical. The lateral marks, the colour is reversed and the colour of the light is reversed. Yeah, 2 parts there. I hope that helps you there. He might ask you, well, where is Isla region A? And I know you're going to tell me that region A is Europe, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Africa, most of Asia, other than the Philippines, Japan and Korea. That's what it says in the notes. I want you to know that. But in my exam, I would say in a British exam, region A, sir, is of British influence. It's Commonwealth. Region B is American influence. Booyah, full stop, done. Let's not then have to explain which is which. British influence and American influence. The notes explain what I've just said. I hope they explain it. You will be asked about Bouyage. You need to know them. He will put down a south cardinal and say you are heading north. What are you going to do? Well, I'd be looking for an east or a west cardinal, sir. It indicates that you are south of the danger, etc. You are heading west and you see a west cardinal. I am going to stop, inform the master, switch on the echo sounder. Why you never switch it off, I don't know. Switch on the echo sounder. You are going to do a chart assessment. The only thing you know is that safe water is astern. You are heading naughty elephants. You are heading east and you see a north cardinal. I am going to pass to the north of the north cardinal, sir. Therefore, I'm going to turn to port. I need you to have that so clear in your head. I know a number of people who have failed on a similar style question. I'm not going to say if you get a mistake on this, you fail. That's not the way it works. But you are putting a very large nail in your coffin. If you have any questions on Bouyage, send me an email. I'll try and help you. I hope this has helped. As I said, for me, realizing that that is a port hand lateral mark indicating a preferred channel. Yeah, I'm going to leave it to port if I'm going to stay in the preferred channel. That, to me, was the biggest change, the biggest boost for me. I hope I've made sense for you. Spend time with the boys. You get the boys right, you are in a very good place. Hello, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you want to have access to the notes and to my other 35 hours of video that will make you pass, then you need to download it from the Apple Store. To do this, you get an iOS device and you go to the App Store. You type into the search button, Fred's Oral Prep Videos. You click on it, press the Get button, and it will download my app. From there, you can subscribe to pass your exam. Good luck. Flags and the Morse code. You are required to know at least some of the flags. You are required to know the signal flags. So I have the flashcard set here. This is not a full set, to be honest. But the examiner is not going to bring out a full set. He's going to bring out a couple. So let's see how you do. Okay. What's that? Sierra, my engines are going astern. Gulf, I require a pilot, or by fishing vessels, I am hauling nets. Alpha, I have a diver down, keep well clear. Mike, my vessel has stopped and making no way through the water. Papa, all persons report on board as the vessel is about to proceed to sea. Or, made by fishing vessels at sea, my nets are fast upon an obstruction. What's that one? Now you should know that. Please tell me you know that one. That is hotel. I have a pilot on board. Yankee, I am dragging my anchor. Victor, I require assistance. Lima, you should stop your vessel instantly. Kilo, I wish to communicate with you. Juliet, this is one of my favorite ones actually, Juliet. There's a friend who made us have radio call signs, and he wanted to be Juliet. I'm on fire and have dangerous cargo on board. Keep well clear of me. I will never forget that one. X-ray, stop, carry out your intentions and watch for my signals. Uniform, you are running into danger. Bravo, I'm taking in or discharging or carrying dangerous goods. Zulu, I require a tug. Or, when made by fishing vessels, I am shooting nets. Quebec, my vessel is healthy and I request free pratique. Oscar, an important one really, isn't it? Man overboard. Foxtrot, I am disabled, communicate with me. Romeo, has no meaning apparently. Or at least no single letter meaning. Echo, I'm altering my course to starboard. Delta, keep clear of me, I'm maneuvering with difficulty. Tango, keep clear, I'm engaged in pair trawling. And Whiskey, I require medical assistance. Now I have to confess, it's very easy when you can see the back of the cards. You need to have a good understanding of at least the single flag meanings. The only real way of learning that, I'm afraid, is to sit with flashcards, draw them up, write them out, learn them. Where would you, if you had a mind blank in the exam, where would you look it up? So, who said the Mariner's Handbook? Now, on my standard week, I would say that at least 50% of people say that. I then give them the Mariner's Handbook and I let them go through it. Because guess what's not inside the Mariner's Handbook? Yeah. There are nationality flags, but there are not single meaning flags. So, where else could you look it up? International Code of Signals? Yeah, that's a fair one. Once again, I give people a book. I say, have a little look at it. And it takes someone a good 10 minutes to find the actual meanings of a single flag meaning. So where could you look it up? Where would be the easiest place? It's not inside the Mariner's Handbook. I accept the International Code of Signals. Where else could you look it up? Because you need to know these books. You need to know the contents of these books. So, what about the ALRS volumes? ALRS volume 1. The back page has what's inside your notes there. It's awesome. It shows the flags, it shows the Morse and the single flag meaning. So the back of LRS volume 1 and LRS volume 5, they both show flags and Morse. I think it's worthwhile. So that's volume 5. And I've made a replication of that in the notes. I genuinely think it's worthwhile knowing what's at the back of each of the LRS volumes. One of them has country codes, one of them has phonetic alphabet, one of them has Morse code, one of them has flags, one of them has the Beaufort scale, and one of them has nothing useful whatsoever. I want you to go and find a set of LRS volumes 1 through to 5 and 1 through to 6 and have a good look at them. So if he said to you, oh, what would you find, where would you find flag information? Oh, I'd find it in the back of LRS volume 5. If he said to you again, what would you expect to find in LRS volume 5? GMDSS, blah, 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 blah. And actually at the back, sorry, in preparation of this exam, I found that there were the single meaning flags. Okay, happy? You need to know some dual flag meanings. November Charlie. That's distress indication, isn't it? Please know that. Please, 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 please. Romeo Yankee. I want you to find out what it means. And Yankee Golf. I want you to find out what it means. Hopefully, in your Kindle reading, that's just like, bosh, yes, I've read an MGN about that. I know exactly what that means. Morse. Yeah, let's have a quick look at the Morse code. International Morse code. It's a lot to learn. I never really managed to come to terms with it. I learned it the night before my exam. I learned the flags and the International Morse code the night before the exam. It's not something that comes easily for me. I do not suggest waiting till the night before the exam to try and learn it. the longer you keep trying to go through it, the better it will be. I now, if I'm trying to learn it again or put it back in my head as I'm walking along the road, I kind of hum, you know, dit da. Dit stands for short, da stands for long. Dit da, so that'd be Morse, alpha. Da, dit, dit, dit would be bravo. Charlie, yes. Da, dit, da, dit. So as I'm kind of, I wouldn't say talking to people, but I'm thinking about it as I'm walking on the road, that is probably the best way of learning it for you. I'm afraid, other than learn the flags, learn the Morse code, there is not much I can actually do to make it go in. It's purely repetition. However, signal flags actually went out in about the, I think it was early 80s for the OOW yacht. For the OOW Unlimited, they still need to do a signals flag exam, and they have to learn all these flags, they have an exam on it, whereas we don't. Our examiners, they definitely learnt it. They definitely had to learn the Morse code, they definitely had to learn the flags. I'm pretty sure they expect you to know the flags. I'm not suggesting you know all of the flags, but I think you should know all the flags that are mentioned within the Morse code. So up on your screen there and inside your notes is, I actually don't know where this came from. This is the one that I learnt when I did my Officer of the Watch. It's fantastic. I think it might be Warsash. If anyone knows, if they can send me an email and I can update this to say to people, yep, this came from Warsash. It was given to me, and it's the first one I've ever seen that kind of made it make sense for me and made it have a reason or a justification as to learn it. It has the flag, the single letter, the sound signal, the fog signal, the flag moving, or meaning, the maneuvering sound signal, and the fog signal. I like that. That, for me, works. Okay? It makes sense. I want you to know, for this exam, all of those. Because he may not ask you much about flags or Morse, but if he asks you the fog signal for a lame duck, it is delta. I am manoeuvring with difficulty, 1 long, 2 short, at intervals not exceeding 2 minutes. If he asks you what is Charlie, it's 1 long, 1 short, 1 long, 1 short. If he asks you what November is, it's 1 long, 1 short. That's not on my list there, is it? It mustn't be in the rules. What would you indicate I'm unhappy with your intention? It would be 5 short, rapid blasts. Okay? I want you to make sure that you are aware of, as a minimum, these signal flags and these meanings. You are required to know the rules, inside out and backwards. Frequently asked questions. Bouyage. You are guaranteed that in every single exam there are going to be some questions on Bouyage. Ones that have caught people out are, you're heading north and you see a north cardinal. What do? You remember to stop. Yeah? Call the master. Chart assessment. Echo sounder. Safe water is behind. And I want you to do that. I want you to put your arms in the air. So that will always come up. You're heading due west and you see a north cardinal. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to pass north of the north cardinal. Heading due west. Naughty, elephant, squirt, water. Therefore, I'm going to turn to starboard. So therefore, sir, I would pass north of the north cardinal. Therefore, I would turn to starboard. a preferred channel marker, what does it flash? It flashes composite group flash 2+1. Composite group flash means 2 plus something. So in this case, 2+1, or 3+1, but it's not, group flash 2 for isolated danger mark is fuck off. It's bump, bump. It repeats the same sequence. Whereas a composite group flash is 3+1 or 2+3 or something else. So a preferred channel mark is a composite group flash 2+1, whereas a isolated danger mark is group flash 2. What else do we have? So isophase, occulting, flashing. What does that mean? So isophase is equal light and dark. Occulting is more light than dark. Flashing is more dark than light. So flashing would be me flashing my bosom at you, would be a short amount of flashing. That's the good one. Yeah. Flashing means you only see it briefly, so the light is only on for a very short period of time. There is more darkness. You're not seeing my manly bits. Whereas occulting is more on than off. So it's on, and then it's off. Then it's on again. Then it's off. Then it's on again. So isophase is equal isotonic, thinking of Lucozade. Occulting is more on than off. Flashing is more off than on. If you get that wrong in the mock exam, I am going to flash anything at you. Uses of special marks. Now in some of the notes you'll see there's a bit there about talking about the uses of a special mark. So looking now in our updated Ayala Maritime Bouyage, special marks, what can they be used for? Sorry, my book is having a falling apart time. Somebody very, very recently came up with the acronym CROFT as to the uses. So the uses include the marking of a ODAS system, a traffic separation scheme where use of the conventional channel marking may cause confusion, spoil grounds, military exercise areas, cables, or any other functions. Recreation zones. You and I know recreation zones. We've seen that off on TV. Another function of special marks is to define a channel within a channel for like a deep draft vessel. Make sure that you've got that. Yeah, it seems to be one of those common sort of strange questions come up. When would you expect to see a special mark? So ODAS, Ocean Data Acquisition. Big 15-meter yellow buoys that float in the middle of the Atlantic, Pacific, all these oceans. Top marks. You will be asked top marks. So what is the top mark for a special mark? It is a cross or an X. X is probably the best way of putting it. Whereas the top mark of an emergency wreck mark is an upright, what does it say? An upright yellow cross. So in your exam, do that for a special mark. Do that for an emergency wreck mark. Retroreflectors. You need to know the raycons. So what raycon would be on a emergency wreck mark? Delta. Look at the colors. It makes sense. Special mark raycon. Doesn't have one. Special mark, well, a safe water mark would have a raycon alpha. Yeah? Do you know what a raycon is? If you don't, I would suggest you find out. And also maybe even a ray mark. Which book would you look it up in? Admiralty, Volume 2. Admiralty list of radio signals, radio-based navigation, radar beacons. Put it on the screen. So a radar beacon is a transmitter designed to produce a distinctive image on the screen of a ship's radar set, thus enabling the mariner to determine his position with greater accuracy than would be possible with a normal radar beacon display alone, or radar display alone. A raycon is a combination of the word radar and beacon, raycon. And a raycon contains a radio receiver and radar transmitter, and it will have the image will show a line of dots and dashes representing a Morse character radiating away from the location of the beacon. Okay. A raycon transmits when it's been pinged, whereas a ray mark continuously transmits without having to be triggered. They can be either X or S band, so 3 gig or 9 gigahertz. I would say that covers most of the frequently asked questions for Bouyage. Any questions, any problems? Let's discuss it in the mock exam. Best of luck. On to the next video.